Good evening, you guys. My name's MissTappy, and I'm going to be reading to you the sequel of Alice in Wonderland, which is Through the Looking Glass. We're just going to focus on the introduction and some of the first chapter, just depending on, time constraints. So for my outfit today, I'm wearing a white tank top, this cute little red skirt, and I'll be putting on my white long stockings. Let's go ahead and put these on. Still got that bruise on my leg. Sorry guys. I have no idea where it came from. These socks are so cute. Stockings, I should call them. They have a little bow on the top. The other one on. At the very intro of Through the Looking Glass, they have a poem, and I'm looking forward to reading it to you because I actually love poetry. And in the future, I hope to get some, maybe Shel Silverstein, or some nice poetry books for you all. So here is the outfit. Little bows. This red lip is so bright that I didn't put on any necklaces because I figured it was very bold on its own. So my dog's going to be chilling in the background with me. She's this little black ball of fur right here. And yeah, so she'll just be there in the background to keep us company. So this is the book that I'm using. It has Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass on it. So it's divided in half. You guys are welcome to find a copy to read through online. This actually, you can legally find it online and read it. So maybe I'll put a link down below so you guys can read along with me. But I will be reading it out loud to you. So 12 chapters in total. There's a picture of a chessboard on the side. The introduction. Child of the pure, unclouded brow and dreaming eyes of wonder, thou time be fleet, and I and thou are half a life asunder. Thy loving smile were surely hail, the love gift of a fairy tale. I have not seen thy sunny face, nor heard thy silver laughter. No thought of me shall find a place in thy young life's hereafter. Enough that now thou wilt not fail to listen to my fairy tale, a tale begun in other days, when summer suns were glowing, a simple chime that served to time the rhythm of a rowing, whose echoes live in memory yet, though envious years would say, forget. Come, hearken then, ere voice of dread, with bitter tidings laden, shall summon to unwelcome bed a melancholy maiden. We are but older children dear, who fret to find our bedtime near. Without the frost, the blinding snow, the storm wind's moody madness, within the firelight's ruddy glow, and childhood's nest of gladness, the magic words shall hold thee fast. Thou shalt not heed the raving blast. And through the shadow of a sigh may tremble through the story, for happy summer days gone by, and vanished summer glory. It shall not touch with breath of bale the pleasance of our fairy tale. There's a lot of beautiful wording in this. I really liked. A melancholy maiden, pure unclouded brow. We are but older children dear, who fret to find our bedtime near. Saying we're all just older children who are trying to get to bed at night, right? Kind of applies. Chapter 1. The Looking Glass House. One thing was certain, that the white kitten had had nothing to do with it. It was the black kitten's fault entirely, for the white kitten had been having its face washed by the old cat for the last quarter of an hour, and bearing it pretty well considering, so you see that it couldn't have had any hand in the mischief. The way Dina washed her children's faces was this. First she held the poor thing down by its ear with one paw, and then with the other paw she rubbed its face all over the wrong way, beginning at the nose, and just now, as I said, she was hard at work on the white kitten, which was lying quite still and trying to purr, no doubt feeling that it was all meant for its good. But the black kitten had been finished with earlier in the afternoon, and so, while Alice was sitting curled up in a corner of the great armchair, half talking to herself and half asleep, the kitten had been having a grand game of romps with the ball of worsted Alice had been trying to wind up, and had been rolling it up and down till it had all come undone again. And there it was, spread over the hearthrug, all knots and tangles, with the kitten running after its own tail in the middle. "Oh, you wicked, wicked little thing!" cried Alice, catching up the kitten and giving it a little kiss to make it understand that it was in disgrace. "Really, Dina, ought to have taught you better manners." "You ought, Dina, you know you ought," she added, looking reproachfully at the old cat, and speaking in as cross a voice as she could manage. And then she scrambled back into the armchair, taking the kitten and the worsted with her, and began winding up the ball again. But she didn't get on very fast, as she was talking all the time, sometimes to the kitten and sometimes to herself. Kitty sat very demurely on her knee, pretending to watch the progress of the winding and then putting out one paw, gently touching the ball, as if it would be glad to help if it might. "Do you know what tomorrow is, Kitty?" Alice began. "You'd have guessed if you'd been up in the window with me, only Dina was making you tidy so you couldn't. I was watching the boys getting in sticks for the bonfire, and it wants plenty of sticks, Kitty. Only it got so cold and it snowed so, they had to leave off. Never mind, Kitty, we'll go and see the bonfire tomorrow." Here Alice wound 2 or 3 turns of the worsted round the kitten's neck, just to see how it would look. This led to a scramble in which the ball rolled down upon the floor, and yards of it got unwound again. "Do you know, I was so angry, Kitty," Alice went on, as soon as they were comfortably settled again. "When I saw all the mischief you had been doing, I was very nearly opening the window and putting you out into the snow, and you'd have deserved it, you little mischievous darling. What have you got to say for yourself? Now don't interrupt me," she went on, holding up one finger. "I'm going to tell you all your faults. Number 1, you squeaked twice while Dina was washing your face this morning. Now you can't deny it, Kitty. I heard you. What's that you say?" Her pretending that the kitten was speaking. "Her paw went into your eye? Well, that's your fault for keeping your eyes open. If you'd shut them tight up, it wouldn't have happened. Now don't make any more excuses, but listen. Number 2, you pulled Snowdrop away by the tail just as I had put down the saucer of milk before her. What, you were thirsty, were you? How do you know she wasn't thirsty too? Now for number 3, you unwound every bit of the worsted while I wasn't looking. That's 3 faults, Kitty, and you've not been punished for any of them yet. You know I'm saving up all your punishments for Wednesday week." Suppose they had saved up all my punishments, she went on, talking more to herself than the kitten. "Kitty, can you play chess?" "Let's pretend that you're the Red Queen, Kitty. Do you know, I think if you sat up and folded your arms, you'd look exactly like her. Now, do try. There's a dear." And Alice got the Red Queen off the table and set it up before the kitten as a model for it to imitate. However, the thing didn't succeed, principally, Alice said, because the kitten wouldn't fold its arms properly. So, to punish it, she held it up to the looking glass that it might see how sulky it was. "And if you're not good directly," she added, "I'll
put you through into the looking glass house. How would you like that? Now, if you'll only attend, Kitty, and not talk so much, I'll tell you all my ideas about looking glass house. First, there's the room you can see through the glass. That's just the same as our drawing room, only the things go the other way. I can see all of it when I get up on a chair, all but the bit just behind the fireplace. Oh, I do so wish I could see that bit. I want so much to know if they have a fire in the winter. You never can tell, you know, unless our fire smokes, and then smoke comes up into that room too. But that may be only pretense, just to make it look as if they had a fire. Well then, the books are something like our books, only the words go the wrong way. I know that because I've held up one of our books to the glass, and then they hold up one in the other room.
So here Alice is talking about holding things up to a mirror, and how when she held up a book to the mirror, it reflected in the opposite direction. So she talks about this looking glass house, which is really just a mirror, and she's talking about it as if there's a whole world beyond the mirror.
How would you like to live in a looking glass house, Kitty? I wonder if they'd give you milk in there? Perhaps, looking glass, milk isn't good to drink. But oh, Kitty, now we come to the passage. You can just see a little peep of the passage in Looking Glass House if you leave the door of our drawing room wide open. And it's very like our passage as far as you can see, only you know it may be quite different on beyond. Oh, Kitty, how nice it would be if we could only get through into Looking Glass House. I'm sure it's got, oh, such beautiful things in it. Let's pretend there's a way of getting through into it. Somehow, Kitty. Let's pretend the glass has got all soft like gauze, so that we can get through. Why, it's turning into a sort of mist. Now, I declare, it'll be easy enough to get through. She was up on the chimney piece while she said this, though she hardly knew how she had got there. And certainly the glass was beginning to melt away, just like a bright silvery mist. In another moment, Alice was through the glass and had jumped lightly down into the looking glass room. The very first thing she did was look whether there was a fire in the fireplace. She was quite pleased to find that there was a real one, blazing away as brightly as the one she had left behind. So I shall be as warm here as I was in the old room, thought Alice. Warmer, in fact, because there'll be no one here to scold me away from the fire. Oh, what fun it'll be when they see me through the glass in here and can't get at me. And she began looking about and noticed that what could be seen from the old room was quite common and uninteresting, but that all the rest was as different as possible. For instance, the pictures on the wall next to the fire seemed to be all alive. And the very clock on the chimney piece, you know, you can only see the back of it in the looking glass, had got the face of a little old man and grinned at her. They don't keep this room so tidy as the others, Alice thought to herself.
So on this page, we can see Alice actually going through into the mirror and appearing on the other side. And you can see how the clock has a different face in this image as well. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to stop here, just out of time constraints. We only got a couple pages in, really, but quite a bit happened. You could see Alice talking to her cat, giving that cat a little bit of attitude. You can really hear her imagination, you know, cueing in when she talks to her cat, and then you see her actually entering into the mirror and appearing on the other side. So this is just when things start getting weird, right? So you guys are welcome to read more of it. Like I said, it's online for free. I can read more of it in future videos too if you'd like. It was nice hanging out with you tonight. Hopefully that relaxed you a bit. And I hope you guys have a good night. Sleep well.